let me set the stage for you, Tyler. Let me take you on a journey, okay?
Well, Fran and Frank set the stage for us. Oh, you mean metaphorically?
What? This guy over here.
Brilliant!
So anyway, you don't really, we've talked about it on the show, you don't really play video games. I do. Mm-hmm. And I've been playing video games since I was like 11 or 12. So I've been playing them for a while.
Where are you going with this?
I'm setting the stage, dude. I'm fucking being a storyteller. But every summer they would have this thing called E3 that was where they would just show off all the games that were coming out in the fall and winter and all that stuff. Yeah. It was a really fun time because it was always like in the middle of June, and I wasn't at school at that time, so I was able to watch all the press conferences live as they were happening, and like there was just so much hype behind that, and that's a similar thing with San Diego Comic-Con. That's what I think about in this situation, because E3 is essentially dead. It doesn't really exist anymore because even before COVID, companies were pulling out of it, and they found out, like Nintendo and PlayStation kind of figured out, like, hey, why are we paying money to do something like this where we could just throw our own press conferences and have our own events? And like, we don't even need to have an event space. We could just put it on YouTube or whatever. And I think, given the news that Marvel, Lucasfilm, Sony, HBO, and Netflix are skipping San Diego Comic-Con this year, it makes me think two things. One of them is that it's a dying thing, and two, it's gonna go back to being about comic books.
I have a third thought.
Sure.
Maybe I can actually get a fucking ticket.
Well, yeah, they won't have the big Hall H announcement.
Here's my thing is I'm fine with that. For a long time now, the San Diego Comic-Con has been it's ridiculous compared to what it was. People got involved and wanted to make some money, and they fucked it all up. Dude. And as soon as there's a company called Mile High Comics in Denver. Yeah. They're one of the biggest national comic book shops across the country. I mean, they used to do, mail order shit in Marvel. They had like a contract with them and stuff. They've been going to the San Diego Comic-Con for 35 years, and like 3 years ago, they made the announcement that they were no longer going because the shitheads who were running San Diego Comic-Con had jacked their prices up so much that even they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, and it's
so yeah, dipshit. Oh, Gabe, it's just, you know what? It's ironic that something like Netflix and Max, both who have this problem with their shareholders and this unsustainable, we gotta always top our previous quarter earnings. Yeah. And you can't do that with streaming. It's the same thing with San Diego Comic-Con. They kept jacking it up and shit, and after a while, nobody's gonna be able to afford to go, even people who are rich.
Well, I think a lot of these companies
drove people away.
Well, I think and like I was saying, that's why I see such parallels between what's happened to E3 and what's happening here. Where, and let's be honest, San Diego Comic-Con has been around for a long time.
It sucks for fans.
It was mostly a comic, these conventions. I mean,
I'd say about 20 years ago when it started really being.
Yeah, but it mostly be about books and you'd have celebrity appearances, but they're like what they do at these smaller local cons.
MCU has a lot to do with it too because they started doing their Hall H stuff, and that was like the big deal.
Yeah, you would get announcements,
and then every movie studio was doing Hall H shit,
And that's the thing,
which is cool. I thought I knew I'd never get in to see it because it's ridiculous.
But we don't need it anymore. Yeah. They've got D23. They don't need it anymore.
Okay.
This is what I'm getting at. Sure. It's like because COVID was a great opportunity for all these companies to reconsider their business models because they're people weren't going to the movies, so they're not making the $1 billion franchises. And I think especially Warner Brothers right now, with what's happened with The Flash, but we'll get to that, I think they're starting to realize that COVID didn't just change their business model, it changed everybody's way of life in some ways, because we do this show, and there's some movies that I really want to talk about on the show, but I'm selective. Like, my wife, granted we have a kid, But my wife doesn't really like going to the movies anymore because she knows in a couple months it'll be on streaming somewhere.
We were just talking about...
So people are... That's why you're seeing these big dips, I think. And I think that they're going to... A lot of these companies are not making the earnings they were, so they're going to stop doing things like San Diego Comic-Con. And yeah, it sucks because just like E3, it's that hype. It's that like... It's that feeling of like it's something to be excited to be like, oh, because... There's so many great examples because Marvel has done so many awesome Hall H ones, and
my God, yes!
When they brought out the cast for the fucking Avengers movie, and they had Loki in character there, like that was fun.
That was cool as shit.
Yeah.
And then it just sucks, man, because like the fans are what it should always be about to me.
Yeah.
Being a fan,
but myself. They are products. Yeah, that's what sucks.
It sucks. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna start seeing. I'm surprised that movie studios are still reporting, box offices like they are. Like, well, the first weekend, and then did it. It's like you guys got to adjust and start figuring out that you have basically one weekend to shoot your shot.
Yeah,
you basically do anymore, right? But Rise of the Beasts had a good opening, right? But they dropped off huge.
It's because people are being selective.
Yes.
Because inflation is hurting everyone, and it's hard. And we've talked about this before. It's hard.
Yeah, it
for a family. An average family, and you and I have talked about it. I've skipped. I would have liked to see that Transformers movie.
Me too.
But the shit's expensive, and I just don't have the money for it. Like
we've already been.
And by the way,
5?
By the way, what we're bitching about is us being in Iowa and being in the Midwest. It's so much worse in California.
Oh, in Denver,
ticket
when
everything
I went
else.
to movies in Denver, it was so much more expensive. Yeah, and. And we actually have a luxury. We could probably go on Fridays and get tickets. You know what I mean? Like
we don't have to really reserve tickets.
There never was a huge movie-going audience in Des Moines before COVID, and now it's just dead.
But you know what's funny? When the MCU is at its peak and hitting its stride in Phase 3 and all that stuff leading up to Infinity War, those places were fucking packed.
Yes.
But now, Marvel is so used to that because they had so many hits, one after the other, just all this money. And now, you could argue there's fatigue. Yeah. I think that's there. I think that's a factor. But again, things.
I saw the Honest trailers for Love and Thunder today, and it was so fucking spot on. That. The more I am away from that movie, the more I realize how much of a piece of garbage it is.
I actually like that movie. I don't care. I'll go on a whole thing about it. I urge you to watch the Honest about your criticisms of that movie. I enjoyed it, and I don't need to justify my liking.
I'm not asking you to. I just think I want to talk about it for you to check out the Honest trailer for it because it was pretty spot on.
I want to talk about Comic-Con. Because that's what the topic is, you son of a bitch. But I want to keep talking about this because...
I've always wanted to go, but I knew I'd never be able to get tickets, A.
And another point. DC fandom. DC did their own thing. Like, all these companies realize they don't need these trade shows as a direct access to you or me.
Sometime.
No. It's a fucking Disney event. You know that shit's going to be way overpriced.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sucks.
I'm sorry, I'm the worst with that stuff.
No, you're right.
I don't because we are in an era where Disney's got D23. Warner Brothers has already created a precedence with DC fandom, so they could bring that back whenever they want. Sony. Now, some of these I think are like Lucasfilm not being there and like not showing off Star Wars stuff. I also guess I can understand that because you have May the 4th. But what about Netflix? What about HBO? Like you said, you would think the company, especially when Warner Brothers is selling off $500 million worth of their properties, I don't think they're going to be able to make that.
They're selling off?
Yeah. 500 million. They're giving away a license. Like they're like migrating.
How do we buy
that? We're not going to be able to afford that. But I think it's more of like a licensing thing when they're making that as well. I
just don't think there's like a $5,000 character.
By the way, buy that.
Turn into a cash cow for your son.
Tyler, it's a bad buy because
is it?
If somebody were to take that $500 million deal and buy all that shit, they they would still be like $49 billion in debt. Like Warner Brothers is one of the worst run fucking entertainment companies in the world. Good God.
Yeah.
And they are killing a over 100-year-old fucking movie studio because of decades of terrible decisions, and I just don't understand it. And so I know why they can't be there, because they can't fucking afford it. And then, but Netflix, you would think they would try and do something to get back in people's graces, because I think a lot of people are still fucking mad about the $8 shit. I don't know. It's sad. I agree with you. It's fun to be a fan of something and have something to look forward to.
Yes.
And yeah,
I've been to 2 conventions this year alone.
Yeah.
And like,
it's just nice to be around other nerds. Okay, that's really what it is. That's what it's all about. Being around other cool people.
Yeah, cool people.
I want to cosplay. We should, if we do another con, or when we do another con, we should cosplay.
What are we going?
That's why you do it.
What are we going?
No, I just don't figure your own thing out.
No, we should do a team one. Or why should we?
Stupid idea. I'll be an off panel and you be an off topic. I like how I just shoot your idea down. No, I agree with you, but I'm Batman. You're right.
Somebody's got gas and it ain't me and you, Cooper.
Carton.
Smell that?
No,
is that me?
It hasn't reached me yet.
That was me. I'm sorry. No, seriously,
I'm joking with you.
About this. What would we be? What could we go as Mario and Luigi?
But you're right. All these movies.
We could go as Mario and Luigi.
You're right. We could probably afford it now because all these companies pulling out. The tickets are probably cheap. I mean, we'd have to get a flight to San Diego, but we could do it.
I'm surprised I got a B&B in Iowa City over the 4th of July.
Batman and Robin.
$150 and less.
That's what we're doing. I'm Batman. You're Robin.
No.
Shit.
The only second fiddle I will be with you is Mario and Luigi.
Let's be Midnight.
We could be Han and Luke.
Let's be the Midnight. Isn't there like a Midnight Men team? Or is that a movie with Ben Stiller?
The Mystery Men?
There was like a Midnight Men. I could have swore.
No.
I'm looking this up. I need to find this out.
So
just because, if not, I want to steal that name. That's really what.
Well, it's famous. We could be like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, come on.
What?
That's ridiculous.
How about we could be Rain Man? We could be Rain Man.
Oh, it's a thing.
What?
It's a Marvel thing.
What? Midnight?
Midnight Man.
What is that?
It's a Marvel book.
Okay, what's in it?
I don't know.
Why? Okay.
I'm just trying to. It was because I was trying so I could steal it. But somebody else.
We could go as like Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and Danny Ketch Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. How would we do that?
Well, you're shooting everything down.
You should be Jay and I'll be Silent Bob. It's the easiest one.
Sounds good.
Just wear a backwards hat and a trench coat, and you just wear a wig and a beanie, and there you go.
Schnickty schnickty schnoid schnoid.
Snoochie boochie.
Snoochie boochie.
There you go. We just did it. San Diego Comic Con. Here we go. I hope one day we're big enough we could have off-panel off-con.
Off-panel off-topic conventions?
No, off-panel off-con.
Okay.
Brandon!
Let's
go, no.
Brandon!
You know what I thought about when I saw that on a car I drove by recently? It's like, how are you going to explain that in like 20 years?
What, let's go, Brandon?
Yeah.
No, I saw something really stupid.
That's why it's
oh my god, it was so stupid.
But,
no, this guy was driving like a jackass in front of me, and he had this "Let's Go Brandon" sticker, and I just wanted to yell at him like, not only you are driving like a jackass, but you're also a gigantic pussy. Just say "fuck Biden," you fucking pussy. Okay, sorry.
What?
Okay, let's go.
I got what I paid for.
Yeah, you fucking did. This is a free podcast. Okay,
free for you.
Free podcast.
Yeah. So to wrap things up, it sucks, but it was bound to happen, given the fact that all these companies could just throw their own events. It's cheaper for them. So.
Also, let's be honest. Capitalism. All of you who just love it.
Especially
this is what it does. This is what it does to fandom, dude. This is what it does. The more popular something is, the more they can make of it, and then it's just an avalanche. And that makes it really hard for the you know the small guys to survive. Make no mistake, you have this really stupid, this bullshit idea that America is all about small business. Bullshit. All right, so San Diego Comic-Con, you know, all these people pulling out of it, all these big names. I just have to say, go fuck yourself, SDCC. You guys made your bed and now you have to lay in it.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted. You fucking were charging $50,000 for a weekend for a fucking comic company, a comic shop out of Denver. And they said, fuck you. And guess what? Now Marvel and Lucasfilm and HBO Max and all these other ones are saying, fuck you too. Now where are you going to get your 9th yacht, you fucking rich piece of shit? I don't have any sympathy for the runners of San Diego Comic-Con. I have sympathy for the fans who are probably not going to have one of those in a couple years.
Hey, the people that run SDCC.
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Green.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.